meet again in our discussion. Today we will continue our discussion in the computer philosophy. So I think because we only have 2 sessions left, I would like to maximize the rest of the session for giving you some trigger to find out and to observe about the implementation, or not implementation actually, and the fact that the computer philosophy actually happened in around us, and then we related with the current issue in the several technologies, and then come with the several issue also that occurs in the implementation of the use of the technology. So our discussion is not about the artificial intelligence today, but I would like to give you some intro about the data science ethics. Yeah. So actually, it's about the ethics. Yeah. So I think when we discuss about the discovery and then the exponential growth of the science, and we have a lot of type of science, which is the last discussion is about the cognitive science. I think we also need to consider that even the science is always will be exponential growth, and then find and discover something new in the scientific discovery, but the limitation, or maybe in the the science itself actually have some boundaries. Yeah, the boundaries it's mean like not as the obstacle, but the boundaries mean this is like a sign, or maybe a mark that even we try to implement the science in the very free way, but we still have something that we need to consider. Yeah, that we call the ethics. Yeah, so that's why it's very important, because if we not think about it, I think the science will be very well, and then will be disrupt in the in the very free way. So I think that will also one of the things that we doesn't need to have. Yeah, so I think it's happened also in the not only in the science, in the technology, in the engineering, in the some activities. If we doesn't have any not rules, yeah, but ethics. I think rule is mean like something that state by the owners or the government, for example. But ethics is just like as human being, we have some consensus, we have a good practices, and then we know each other that we have a good point, and then in that good point that we believe that we can trust each others, and then we can collaborate in the good way. Yeah, so that means the ethics, I think. Yeah. So, but today the ethic that we want to discuss is actually more specific, yeah, about several things. Yeah, the first is about the what are the ethics itself. Yeah, so we discuss the ethics for the definition, and also the explain the argumentation about what is the ethics, and then history. What is the concept of informed consent? So I think this is also a good point. Yeah, the informed consent is one of the component that is very familiar with us in computer science, or in the information technology, that if we want to use some services, for example, in the internet, we will found what we call the informed consent. But also actually in the medical things, in the healthcare facilities or services, we also will found what we call the informed consent. Yeah. And then we discuss about the data ownership. Yeah, so this is a very good point. Data ownership is like we have our ownership of ourselves. Yeah, so I think that would be one of the good point too. And then the privacy, and then the anonymity, data validity, and the algorithmic fairness. I will also bring you some discussion about some case that maybe you need to see, and then you need to learn about it, and how actually the development of the computer science, it can be produce the issue that will be have resulting the unfairness in the world. Yeah, so that also what our consideration. So I think that would be in this example how the development of science is too far, yeah, from the norm, from the ethics in the community. And I think as a smart community, I think we not want to have that issue. Yeah. So let's discuss first is what the ethics. Yeah. So ethic can be seen as one of the level of the community in the community that in that become the belief of community. Yeah. So I think because it's belief of community, so the ethic will be can be a shared principle. Yeah. So it means shared principle. I believe that all of us, myself and you, a student, you have your own belief, you have your own faith, you have your own principes, and then you also have your own point of view. But even we have some differentiation, I think we also have a same, not same, yeah, similar principle. Yeah. So I think we also agree that we doesn't agree with the war, for example. We doesn't agree with some of the crime. We doesn't agree with something that not appropriate. Yeah. In this country, for example. So I think that would be the shared principle. Yeah. So I think the thing about the opposite of the goodness, yeah, I think that would be our agreement. So that would be the shared principle that we can discuss. Yeah. But if we want to we'll take a look more deep about it, the shared principle actually came from the science. Yeah. So because the science will be have some some formulation about the idea, the innovation, how the mind is creating the some perception, and then formulate some hypothesis, and came with some of the assumption and go to the knowledge. Yeah. So I think when we take that that knowledge, I think we agree that we have a shared principle. So maybe you need to consider when, for example, you join the computer science program, and you learn about a lot of theory. When we see about the theory that explained by lecture, for example, I think you need also the knowledge that we deliver to you actually is not always from for myself, yeah, for example, but I refer from the previous scientists and so on. And when I share to you, actually, I share also the principle of me that I trust and I believe about the theory from the previous researchers, and I give to you. And when you accept my knowledge, or you accept my knowledge that I share to you, you also accept about the knowledge that I share. So we do the share principle in here. So the question is, if a student, do you have any option to reject the knowledge that we share? I think as human, you can do that one. Yeah. So you can do that one. But because we are in the scientific community, so I think when you want to reject the knowledge, I think not reject in the first option, but you need to observe, to explore, getting some reference that will be support your argument, and then you came with new principle that maybe is different with the shared principle that we share to you. So that I think that how the science work. Yeah. And yeah, even the result is like we not agree with the principle, I think it doesn't matter. Yeah. You can see like in the Einstein theory, in the first time that Einstein introduced the theory, I think a lot of scientists say that that will be is not acceptable, the theory. So I think that's also normal, because in the scientific community, sometimes when we share a principle, we share the knowledge, we share some finding, in the first time it's not always smooth as well. Yeah? So I think that will be also important. Yeah. So that's a lot's meaning actually when we discuss about this share principle. Yeah. So you need to very carefully to think about it. And with this share principle, actually we try to help us, yeah, to distinguish right from wrong. Yeah. So based on this shared principle, when we accept something that new, which is news, which is some new knowledge, new principle, and we use the share principle actually to filter is this right or wrong, this is still in line or actually it's not in line. So in that time, you can have the option. You will be accept the difference, or you will be reject the option. So that will be how the share principle can do that. Yeah. And then what important thing is all these activities, yeah, share principle, and then we can have capability to see this is right and wrong. It become the ethic. The ethic will be in the cornerstone of the civilization. Yeah. So the big community that creating civilization will use the ethics to to run this world. Yeah. So I think we can see now in Indonesia we have a lot of some local cultures, and then each culture will have their own ethicals things or principle, and then we can still live together because we the every every ethics will be keep the cornerstone of the civilization, the uniqueness, the tradition, and so on. I think it's same, yeah. In the computer science, we also have this one. In the computer science, we have the tradition, the strong tradition on the computability, and then the logical thinking, and so on. So that's make the differentiation between the technology and engineering. Yeah. I share a little short story. This morning, I discussed with some professor about it, about how we differentiate which the program, the study program in Indonesia in the area of information technology. We try to differentiate which one is the science or basic theory area, which one is the technology, which one is the engineering. So that would be also all this point of view have their own ethics or principle to say, but yes, this is like a basic theoretical concept and so on. Like us in the computer science in our program, I think we have the belief that we are in the scientific point, yeah, point of view, yeah. So that's why we believe that that will be the key strong key for us, yeah, to differentiate with another study program, yeah. So I think when we realize that one, I think it will be not it will be not right and not will be not implementable if we try to benchmark, for example, the computer science ranking of the study program in Indonesia. So I think the ranking system is not appropriate, yeah. So because we realize that all these study program have their own uniqueness, yeah. So and the bad news, then the bad news is the ranking is not it's very random. It's not you not see about this is the scientific side more strong, this is the technology side more strong, this is the engineering side is more strong, yeah. So that's why so I think that would be the point of view. So I think, yeah, if we want to fair, I think we need to ranking in the same area of the focus of the study program, for example. So that would be how it's work, yeah, as a corner of civilization. And in the very implementation level, the ethics are the basis for the role we all voluntarily choose to follow, because that make the world a better place for all of us here. So I think that would be good point too. Yeah. So based on the ethics, like we have our own tradition, we have our own culture, we have our own country, we have our own religion, and we make rule based on that. And yeah, so, voluntary we choose to follow. Yeah. So I think it's very important. Yeah, we follow not by pressure, but we need to follow by the voluntarily. Yeah. If by pressure it's mean rules, yeah, it's mean law. Yeah. So that's would be the difference. But we believe by the voluntary, we follow the ethics. It will be will be more better the better place for all of us. Yeah. So that will be the clue. So based on this explanation, I think you can see that the ethic is came from the scientific processes that we formulate the principle and share the principle as ethics, yeah. And then the ethic will be the cornerstone of civilization, and then we voluntarily use the ethic to make rules, and then will be arranged and manage our life in the more better way. Yeah? So that will be the ethics, yeah. So I think it's same with you when you join Universitas Gadjah Mada or maybe other university. We have our own culture. We have our own something, yeah. So you can see from in the YouTube, for example, how the MIT atmosphere is different with the University of Michigan different with the university in other side of the America and so on. And so I think that also have their own ethics. Yeah. So that would be the work, how the ethics actually. And this is the important point, that the ethic actually is not laws. Yeah, this is rules, but not laws. Yeah. So because when we see laws have some consequences in the term of the reward or punishment. Yeah, but the ethics have their own reward and punishment, but more abstract, yeah, more morality, yeah, something like that. So let's say if you have the case, yeah, suppose you tell me a secret and I promise to tell no one. If I then break my promise, I may not have broken any law, but I have personally been unethical. Yeah. So sometimes it's this statement, I think, is very simple way to describe what the ethic and laws. Yeah. So I think sometimes we do something that maybe it's not breaking the law, but actually is unethical. Yeah. So I think that would be a good point. Yeah, so this is you can see, yeah, many activities around us. Sometimes it's very easy we can find this kind of issue. Yeah, so that will be also what you need to think. Yeah. So yeah, actually, even it's not law, but from the ethics we can have the law, the good law. Yeah. So the ethic will be guide the creation of laws, and so the two are often in consonance. Yeah. So it's mean like so that's why ethic as science, yeah, as product of science, will be pushed into being the rules, yeah, or the law itself. Yeah. So that's why it's very important. The work of the development of science, exploration of science is very needed. If we not do this one, I think the law will be obsolete. Yeah, the law will be not anticipate about the current research and the current situation on the technology. So I think we can see the example how the Undang-Undang ITE is very behind. Yeah, it's very in the behind line of the trend of the technology and so on. Yeah. So yeah, so something that's happened. I think we never have any laws or rules that can anticipate what will be what will happen in the internet now. Yeah, so that will be the big question, why the ethic is not can create a law that have anticipation in the futures. So that's why it's very important that we need as a scientific community, we need to push to produce a good scientific approach, scientific finding, and then make it become the laws, become the ethics, and then the law will be inspired by the ethic that we produce based on the science. And not everyone will be ethical, even when they are share value. That's why people go to jail for theft, yeah, for pencurian. Yeah. So that will be also the important thing. Laws may be used to enforce ethical behavior. Yeah. So in several conditions, sometimes we use law, yeah, to push the condition in the community to follow with what we want to have. Yeah. So sometimes it has also happened. Yeah. So I think today you can see in the news, in the international news, several countries like Austria, Australia, the people there is do some demo and protest about the COVID-19 limitation and activity limitation, because the news wave of COVID-19 in there is now increasing. But unfortunately, the people in there doesn't want to obey the rule of the law of the government, and then they do the demonstration. So that's why they use the law to enforce. So the citizen hopefully can follow the rules, yeah, because we still face the the very extraordinary condition, yeah. So that also what we think, yeah. And the good thing is the ethics are not religion, yeah. So actually, ethic is not religion. Religion is different things, yeah. Religion is more superior, yeah. Ethic is like the key point in the religion that we think it's good. It's a very valuable principle, and then we use to do in the very ordinary life, yeah, activities. Yeah, so the good point is most of religions promote ethical behaviors. Yeah, I think there is no religion that say that we should go to the war, for example. Yeah, we need to destroy people or something like that. No, we doesn't have any order like that. Yeah, but the most important thing is most of the religions say that we need to have a good life, we could good mankind and so on. So I think that also the ethical things that we can inspire by the religion, and then we can use for daily life. Yeah. So we can use that religion's valuable principle to develop our scientific things. Yeah. So I think the logical and critical thinking of computer science need to be inspired by them, and then we can produce the ethics. Yeah. So I think that's why the ethic flow from shared value, which could be on account of religions. Yeah. So that would be the important points. Yeah. And yeah, one of the type of the ethic is about the issue of the data ownership. Yeah. So the data ownership, I think we believe that it is like the issue that now very very important. Yeah. So because in the current situation we found a lot of accidents that data breach, and then our data is already acquired by other parties and we doesn't have any permission, and so on. So that also very important. Yeah. And even in other side, sometimes we not very aware about to keep the secret of our data. Yeah. So I think that's also one of the point that sometimes that we forget. Yeah, and then make us doesn't have any data ownership. So I think like say like well, for example, you have attacks from your lectures, and then you need to make some some program. Yeah. So I think because you are in the deadline, I think you cannot write your code by your own, and then you go to the GitHub, or maybe you go to the Stack Overflow looking for the somebody work that open, and then even there is no declaration that you can reuse or copy paste the code for you, but you do that one. Yeah. So I think that's also the risk on the data ownership is become problem. And so that's why it's very important for us to aware about it. Even the data in the GitHub is declared as open resources, but I think as ethical things that we need to have some permission. In other point, if the site or of the system already have the statement that we can reuse in many purposes, so I think that will be that doesn't matter. So that's why in the technology side we can see the initiation of the open source movement. Yeah, so that's also a good point, good approach. Yeah, we standardize about the license, and then based on the license we can see we can know well how we can use this source. Yeah, something like that. And then we also have this one. Yeah, who is the owner of the data, the object, the one who collected the data. Yeah, something like that. I think one of the also the issue is about the NFT things. Yeah, so I think the rector of ITB is have the issue on it. Somebody have the picture, and then the picture sell into the NFT market. Yeah, and then have the money from that. Yeah, so I think that also one of the issue of the data ownership. Yeah, even only in the picture. And then limit on the recording and use, data destruction, and so on. I will go to the case study. The first is about the rate my professor. This is like case study. I think that will be very good if you can access this one. I think this is the case study that show about the ethical consideration regarding the privacy and control of consumer information and big data. Yeah. So actually, it's from the course from the Coursera. Delivered by the University of Michigan. But I think if you have any time, you can learn about the ethical value about this issue. Yeah. So actually, this is like when we for example in the class you listen your lecture presentation, and then you record your your lectures, and then you upload on the social media, for example, without any permission. So what happened in that one? So that also, so that maybe you only want to increase your your follower on your social media, for example, and then you want to give a news that you do some activities today, yeah. Just simple as that. But the consequence is, I think you will have a lot of comment. Maybe your friend, in your network, that actually is not appropriate to comment about the lecturing activity, they will do the comment, giving some like, giving something in there. Even if it's like normal, is normal in the in the context of the social media, but actually there is some issue in there about the ethical things. Yeah, when you want to record and then upload the object, yeah, many things, object, maybe person, maybe something. I think you need to consider about to have the permission, for example, because the object is not your owner, your own. Yeah. It's not your right to have that one. Yeah. So that also important point, yeah, about it. Yeah. So please be careful about it. Sometimes when you do some online lecturing like this one, you just capture the screen, and then after that you upload for your purpose, your specific purpose. I think that also one of the ethical things that you need to consider, and you need to realize about it. Not like me, for example, I do my recording, yeah. So that's why if we want to record in the Google Meet on the Zoom, there will be a notification announcement that will be recorded, and then you have some right to give the agreement, or another way you doesn't agree about it. Yeah, it's because yeah, good things. When I record this one, actually the record is only in about my presentation and me. Yeah, that will be displayed in the video. Yeah, so that will be a good point. Yeah, so that will be how the implementation of the ethics. Yeah, so this is like the example how the case of Rate My Professor is one of the ethics case study that you need to consider. And then about the privacy after bankruptcy, yeah. So that also one of the issue. Maybe you can check the link, and then you will have some, some news or some article about it. And then this very interesting because uh, when we have some bankruptcy status of the company or maybe organization, I think it is very disaster. Yeah, so financially they cannot do any more about to the business and so on. But unfortunately, after they have the bankruptcy, uh, they still doesn't have any right about the privacy that they keep. Yeah, you need to keep. Yeah. For example, if you have a red mark on your score, for example, in the high school or the elementary school, I think that will be disaster. And I think there is no one no one in the internet doesn't need you to announce to them. Yeah, so I think that will be keep by yourself. Yeah. So something like that. So I think that would be also the issue on the privacy after the bankruptcy is very important, because what we have, what happened in our own world, it will be our own ownership. Yeah, so that will be very important. So if your friend or your colleague or your family or your something, your partner have some their own condition, even it's worse or even like better, I think if don't just like you want to share or something, but the important thing is you need to realize that what the consequence after that, and then you need to consider about it. Yeah, so that would be the data ownership. And about the privacy, I think, and the privacy is also one of the issue in yours, because the privacy is about all the object in the internet, or maybe not in the internet, that they have their own territory. Yeah, so we need to respect about their own territory. So when people say that, okay, I don't want you to come into my territory, yeah, so I think we doesn't want to go to their territory. Yeah. So that's why the privacy is very important. And I think we in the computer science we know that the privacy is one of the big issue in here. So that's why, like in the cloud computing, we have some type of the implementation of the cloud computing that we call the public, the private, and then the very and so on. Yeah, in the blockchain is also same thing. We have the public and the closed, and then we have also the other type of the blockchain's delivery method. Yeah, so also the degree of the privacy. And today the privacy become very fragile because it one of the trigger how the risk will be occurred in the technology. Yeah. So I think the issue on the data breach and the fraud, the pinjol things, I think that also one of the modern privacy risks that we face now. So I think that also if the pinjol company have the ethic, I think they will not do that one. Yeah. So because they doesn't have ethics, they only have the technology. But unfortunately, without ethics, yeah, they will do anything to do that one. Yeah, so that's the example how the privacy is very important for us to know. Yeah, and we also learn about the anonymity. Yeah, the anonymity is very important, especially in the internet world. Yeah, yeah. What is the anonymity? Yeah, so I think yeah, every object have their own identity. Yeah, their own identity, and the anonymity is about how much of our attribute that will be open and readable by the other parties. Yeah. So if I say I don't want people know my name, yeah, it means you're right to have the anonymity. So maybe you will only know about the initial or something. Same like you join to the Google Meet, and then you declare that I don't want to open my cam. That will be your anonymity. So as lecturer, I cannot push you to open and then make it make it as mandatory. If I do that one, I will again the concept of the anonymity. So yeah, at least you put your image in your account is enough for me, and then I have a clear name in your account. I think that would be good enough. Yeah, so that also one of the important point. Yeah, about the anonymity. We not make some pressure to make some people do what we want to do. Yeah, so if you declare that you want to do, yeah, that will be your anonymity. So we have a different level in here. So in here, you can see that the limited value of the de-identification. So we can see this one, the identification is mean like revealing full identity. So we not agree that our full identity will be shown. Yeah. I think now we face that issue. You realize or not when you use the aplikasi Peduli Lindungi. I think the anonymity things is broken in there. Yeah. So I think that is one of the type that the application that not respect any anonymity anymore. Yeah. So because you need to log in with your number of your phone, and then you will detect by your area using the GPS, and then will be connected related with your with the your healthcare status, which is vaccine and so on. So I think that also a big issue. Yeah. So my personal opinion is I don't want to turn on always the Peduli Lindungi. I only on when I need to be on. Yeah. For example, to enter the building, for example. But after that, we need to cut off because I don't want everyone, especially in the Peduli Lindungi, know this time I in this position, and then the next is in where. I think that would be not good for the anonymity. Yeah, so that's also very important. So that's why some of the case like the concept of the anonymous actually try to shoot that issue. Yeah, so that's also very important. Okay, I will go to the comment first. Yeah, I think the Dava say that I think ethics is something beyond the mind of the majority of the Indonesians. Sometimes even an educated person does not understand the urgency of the issue. For example, exposing the response of the Google form for a certain group. Yes, I think that also one of the issue. I agree with you, Dava. So yeah, I think agree with you that the ethic is not always have having by the educated people. Sometimes the educated people doesn't realize about the ethics. Yeah, because they yeah that would be okay. What the comment for Akan, I agree with Dava. So this should be a standalone lecture. What means standalone lecture? Can you explain to me? It's interesting, this one. Please.
Standalone, I think in Indonesian like apa ya, matkul tersendiri, Pak.
Oh, matkul tersendiri. What? Maksudnya apa? Matkul tersendiri itu.
Ya kayak Filkom ini kan matkul tersendiri, Pak. Jadi bukan sesuatu hal yang ada di sub materi tertentu gitu.
Yeah,
Materi dari suatu subjek.
Yeah. Okay. It's not part of the big part.
Yeah, it should be a big part, major.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. That's the thing. Thank you, Arkan. That's good point. But sometimes like this one, we will realize that the importance of this small part actually after we graduate, after we realize some issue, and then we think about it. So that's also actually I also one of the lecturer in when we are in the team to develop the curriculum. I always have a question: why in the philosophy of computer science is only have one credit? So that will be very it's very I don't understand but the logic, yeah. So why is one credit? In my opinion, this is very foundation. It is like a mata kuliah wajib actually for you, yeah. Like mata kuliah kemipaan for you from the computer science. That's so. Yeah, that will be very important actually. Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't understand. I can see the issue is always about the load of the SKS and so on. Yeah, so that's our discussion. But yeah, something like because understand. I think we won't disclose the name of I think I know that the person. Because it's also happened in the lecturing group, in the lecturer group. Okay, thank you. That's good point. Okay, so this is also the issue that I found in the Netflix privacy case. Yeah, so this is a good issue. Actually, it's like similar with the with the Peduli Lindungi. The Netflix is using the location of the access to identify and profiling the people that use the Netflix services. Yeah, and unfortunately, they do for some of the issue, which is in the lesbian issue. Yeah, so yeah, this is like very it's also it actually is sometimes is maybe it's useful, but unfortunately it's not ethical. Yeah, like I say that I want to consider this is Arhan is the gender of Arhan is man or female, for example. It doesn't matter actually. Yeah, it's not ethical. Yeah, so when we realize this one, I think the technology should be very we need to consider about it. I think like Arkan, I think yeah, of course male. Okay. I think there is some maybe Arkan is Liverpool and Dava is Manchester City, I think. So that's why something like happened in here. Yeah, and then yeah, something like that. Yeah, so I think you can see. So please read this article. I think that will be mind blowing for you. So I think that also happened. When the U.S. election, when Donald Trump want to campaign to have in the first period, yeah, and then after that he win the election. Actually, he do also some play this issue, yeah. So they play the issue of the gender and so on, and then the races and things and so on, and then he can win the competition. So that also the ethical things, yeah. So yeah, so that we need to consider about it and then very carefully about it. And yeah, because the issue like the Netflix will be, I think it's now it's happened too, yeah, like in the in the e-commerce platform, yeah. So maybe it's normal for you, yeah. You log into the application and then after that you have the chatbot that can say to you, hello bro, yeah, hello sis, yeah. I think that's also they read your gender data, yeah. So I think that should be a big question about the anonymity issue also, yeah. So that also you need to think about it, yeah. I will not say that it is good or not, but the issue in there, yeah. And also we have the data validity. I think this is the nightmare, yeah. The data validity is very dangerous, yeah. Now today in Indonesia, I think we found a lot of it. And the last one is like data from the social support from the government, bansos is also happen, yeah. So that also one we need to consider, yeah. So I think the bad data, bad model to lead to bad decision, yeah, something like that, yeah. So it can happen from of the source of error, for example, yeah, choice of attribute and measure, error in data processing. Yeah, we not follow the rules, yeah, about the data processing. So that's very important. When you see this one, actually, when you see like the machine learning method, which is like classification, clustering, maybe, and then you do the deep learning neural network and so on. Actually, if in one thing that will be algorithm, but in one thing again, I think it's like ethic too, yeah. So I think we deal with the ethics about how we need to very carefully to process the data into the step by step process in each of the algorithm. What for? To accountable about the process. If we can do that one in the very clear way, so that's why we will have a good data result on it, and then we can have the accountability on it. Yeah. Last week I have a discussion about it. Yeah. So you can see that one. The machine learning is more, I think, like more white box. Yeah. All the process we can track, we can see. Yeah. We can see, we can learn, we can explore. But unfortunately, in the neural network, let's say about the hidden layer, we cannot see what is the hidden layer. So that's why the deep learning will be called as a black box things. Yeah. So it's very difficult to explain. It's very difficult to to observe, and indirectly we will have a result for prediction. So I think that will be disaster. Yeah. So that will be so that's why we have this case study. I think this is the first case study is very good. Yeah. This is from the Ford Foundation about the I forget the name. Yeah, the resist on the big data. So they use the big data to do some data collection, have the data set. But unfortunately, when we not really care about the data set quality, which is balanced or not, and sometimes the model that we develop based on the big data will be very biased. Yeah, very biased. Will be biased, and the bias will be make some inappropriate model, and what the prediction result will be inequality and discrimination. Actually, this is in this website we have a good video, yeah, from the professor of the in United States about it, and unfortunately it's not exist anymore. I don't know, but I still looking for the video because it's very mind blowing about it. Yeah, and I think you can see, and I found the explanation also in the YouTube. This is the Kathy O'Neill. Yeah, this is the professor from the some of the university about the math destruction. Yeah, it's about it. So I think that's also one thing that you need to to see, and a lot of the philosophy things in here. Yeah, yeah, inside of the current algorithm, current method that we use in the daily life of the computer science. Yeah, so that would be a good point. So in here we can realize that even I am the person that work on the big data research. I realize that the big data still have this issue, and if we can, so that's why I not claim that the big data is the best technology, the good technology, the top technology, and so on. But yeah, we need to consider that even this very advanced, it is even this is very very good, yeah, to resulting the prediction and so on. But they still have the issue. Yeah, so that will be good point. So in this case, you can see that ethic make us down to earth actually. Yeah. So I will not claim that's me. My name Mardhani. I am the expert in the University of Gajah Mada in the big data. Not like that one, because I will say that yes, I learned about the big data. I research on big data, but I still found a lot of things in the big data and still observe how the big data can make some equality, some not discrimination, support the research, the research in the good manners and so on. Yeah, and it's also happened algorithm in the office. has happened in the Amazon when they implement the Amazon job recruiting tools, yeah, using the AI. And what happened in the AI is they bias and again woman, so that would be very disaster too, yeah. So you can see it is like very dangerous, yes, yeah. So please read this also, the article. It is also very important. And then the natural language processing or language type, sorry, not in the NLP processing yet, but the natural language that used in the NLP or AI bot sometimes it's not, it's very biased. It's not like, you know, normal. It's not you know, equal. Yeah, sometimes it's very discriminative in one things. Yeah, sometimes it's like too masculine, sometimes it's too feminine, and so on. So that will be, so that's why in the, like, say, hello bro, hello sis is one of these issue only. So it's very important. Yeah, you need to consider about it. Yeah, and then to learn about it. Yeah, that will be important point. Yeah, and the algorithm itself have also the challenge about the ethic, yeah, about the fairness of the algorithms. Yeah, let's say in the computer network we have the Dijkstra algorithm, yeah, the shortest path algorithm. But unfortunately, shortest path is always have consequence about the effort that we need to release, to support the shortest path. It will be huge effort. It means huge energy consumption, huge, you know, some of the computation processes. So yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, so the shortest path will be, can be resulted by the computer that have a very high resources support. Yeah, but and the high performance computer and so on. But unfortunately, for the normal computation, I think that will be the problem. Same with the machine learning, deep learning, and also this happen. So I think the machine learning and deep learning, one of the example of the algorithm that not fair. Yeah, so that also we need to consider about it. And then correct but misleading result. Yeah, and we have also this case study. This is the Google photo. It's very dangerous in that time because Google photo have the blunder in that time. So yeah, this one. This is the illustration. Yeah. So which one is the blunder? You can see. Skyscraper is okay, airplane is okay, cars is okay, bike is okay, yeah, and then graduation is okay. But unfortunately, this one is not okay. Yeah. So this is the blunder. How the Google photo, the image processing algorithm, do something racism. Yeah. So that would be also very important to see. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I don't know what happened here, but yeah, you sometimes it would be. Maybe if we not have this example, I think, yeah, we will say that, oh, it's okay, that's the machine learning is not good enough, yeah. But unfortunately, actually, we have this problem. So we need to very carefully when we implement the machine learning or deep learning using the image classification or image recognition or something. The ethic will be help us to make our algorithm work more better. Yeah. So that will be good enough. Okay, that's it for me today, the explanation. Any discussion from you before I want to give you some final, final assignment for you for next week? Wait a minute, I will give the presence the QR. Yeah, please, if you have any question, please. Oh, Atri, silakan. Atri Wicaksono, please.
Okay, so we've been talking about the ethics today, right? So I was wondering, what do you think about, we have two cases here. For example, FBI trying to unlock an iPhone of a suspect, and also FBI is asking the developers from Signal for a certain message, and both Apple and Signal, they did trying their best, but again they need to be they need to fulfill their agreement with the user agreement with not disclosing any of the important information that is asked by the FBI. What do you think, sir?
Yeah. In one thing, actually, we need to see about the rule and the ethic norm in the US. Yeah. I think one of the issue is when the FBI or some federal federal agencies do that one, actually want to monitor the citizen, the activity and so on. Yeah, and we realize that even it's not by the rule, they do that one. Yeah, but unfortunately, when we face and then we discuss in the ethical level, I think for me, I cannot accept that condition, yeah, because like peduli lindungi lah, something like that. So when they just need to ask the location, I think that make me some is uncomfortable, yeah, for me. Yeah. So I think that's also will be, they want to try to go to my own territory. So that would be very dangerous for me. Yeah. But I understand sometimes in this case we need to compromise. Yeah. So the compromise point actually is about what the value that we want to gather based on that one. For example, yeah, of course the GPS location should be locked on every time. Yeah, like in the Peduli Lindungi. For example, for elderly, for example, that would be very important because the elderly sometimes need help. Yeah. In the very fast way, for example. So I think the GPS and the location page will be very helpful for that condition. Yeah. So that would be good enough. But unfortunately, in the basic concept, I think I still in the principle of the anonymity actually. Yeah. Even in the internet actually same. Yeah. I think yeah when we ask to log into the some application and then we ask to enter our email address and then to insert the phone cell the number of our phone cell is also something that's very dangerous and not really agree with that concept. Yeah. So that's why when I download some application in my phone, when they ask a lot of permission to access the data, I will cancel my installation, for example. So that's why my application is only CMaster and super very limited application. Yeah. So something like that. Yeah. And even CMaster things is also it's like a peduli lindungi. When I open the QR code, they need the GPS location. So that's why when I want to do the QR, I will open my GPS. But after that, yeah, I will off the GPS, something like that. Yeah. So I think that things, yeah. But sometimes in the law or in the rules point of view, the law enforcement agencies have the capability to push or to pressure the citizen to obey their rules. Yeah, I think like the FBI or federal agencies, sometimes they use the rules of it. Even in Indonesia, I think we also have this one, yeah, like undang-undang anti teroris and so on. They also have this power there. Yeah, something like that. My opinion, Atli. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, we still dreaming, yeah, or maybe some thinking about what the community, the concept of the society in the future when we implement the full of ethics, yeah, something like that. So that's also one of our thinking today, yeah. Okay, so okay, thank you. You already scanned your QR. So I would like to ask you for the next week. I would like each of you, yeah, to find out one of the event or maybe accident or maybe in the news or something else that you think is a similar issue with our term today, our discussion today about the ethics, yeah, in very general way. Yeah. It's not always about the the hacking or something, yeah, but some activity that you think maybe it's not crime, but ethically not ethical, yeah, something like that. So please capture that one. So I think you just need about 1 or 3 slides to capture that one and explain in 1 slide about what your comment. So I just want you to give the comment on it, and then next week we will try to discuss about it. But for this assignment, it will be not like you will be not like submit the presentation, But what I want you to do is you capture that that image and then upload to your social media. If you want to using the Instagram, please upload to the Instagram. If you want using the Facebook or LinkedIn, do that one. I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, I have Facebook. If you do that in that platform, please mention to me. If you do in the other platform, maybe you need to inform to me directly, so I can check that one. So I will check that one, and hopefully you can just find one example and then share to your network. What we want to see is how about not only just about what you're finding, but also what the reaction of your network, of your friend, of your people about it. It is agree with you or not. So you will learn about the shared principle, about the concept of the ethics, about the concept of, oh yeah, this is about the knowledge generation, how about the perception, and so on. A lot of things, yeah. And this case, this assignment will be your you will be analyzed, and then you will be explained in for answer the final same test question, something like that. So please do that one, because it will be very unique. And then the question will be, for example, I will ask you what your finding on the case about the ethics, that you upload to your social media. You need to fill that form, to fill the answer, and then what is your reaction or your friend, for example, and then what your insight, what your opinion about it, and so on. So it will be like that one, Okay, any question? Up to you. You want to upload tonight is good. If you want to upload tomorrow is okay. I will give you some free time for you. But after you upload, mention to me. You can mention to me directly to my social media account, or maybe to the email or to the WA is okay. 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 If no any question,
sir, I'm sorry.
Please,
what are your social medias, so we can?
Sorry. Okay, I will. I will mention on the ELOC, So I will keep the note in there, because I need to copy paste. Sorry.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for reminding, thank you. Okay. If you want also to upload to YouTube, it's okay. So make something up to you. So you can do that one. Okay, thank you very much for today. We will see you in the last session next week. We will review your submission, your work, and then we will have some discussion on it. And then I will give you the final SAM question next week. So you can do next week, and then when you have the bit, you just need to submit. Okay, thank you very much, and have a nice day, and hopefully you always have a good things in this course. Thank you very much, and see you next time. I close this session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.